Hello. Today's video, sorry for the uh, bad uh, green screen. I'm in the middle of the sunlight shining in. I like it, but it really messes up the whole green screen and white balance for the camera. Anyway, anti-rational people, anti-educated, are people who have a mindset that they've been indoctrinated into that keeps them from processing conflicting data. Okay? You see this in the social justice warrior, where anybody who doesn't believe in the social justice paradigm is part of the oppressing class, right? You see this in the flat-tard conspiracy theorists, where people who don't believe the deep conspiracy bull are part of the conspiracy. You see this even in the King James Only Bible Thumpers, who, yeah, this is the way that it is, and they won't listen to even going into the Bible that they say is the right one and correcting them. This is how it. So, what all three of these groups, conservative, atheist, deep believers, have in common is this protectionist mind mental structure. Can you save someone who's got that protectionist mental structure? Larkin Rose is trying to do that with his candles in the dark thing. You ask them the questions that lead them to make the conclusion that's accurate, right? And drop them out of the conspiracy theory that locks them into the false understandings, right? I've been called an anti-vaxxer. I'm not. If vaccines are a proven medical technique that saves lives, then that should be part and parcel of the medical science, and you should be able to quickly pull up efficacy of any vaccine with a graph for how the efficacy drops off. The simple things that one would expect for a procedure, right? With a heart valve implant, what it does to increase your chance of survival of the heart disease, and the risks going in of getting that implant. They've got to stop your heart to put the new valve in, so that that it's going to be. I'm going to be on a heart-lung machine while I'm on the table dead, with my heart stopped, right? So you've got these known risks, known rewards, and you can go and look them up. And you ask your doctor about it, and he'll tell you right off the bat. He won't say, this is the best thing that would, and everybody's telling me that it's a good idea. No, because he knows that if he doesn't have an idea of how to do a heart valve transplant, and an implant of an artificial heart valve, he's gonna get sued to hell and gone. But doctors are giving vaccinations when they have no idea of the actual efficacy, no idea of the actual harm risk involved, and they don't care because they've been told that it's the proper thing. And they know that they are protected because there is a law in the books that protects people from being sued for vaccines. And that's why we have a vaccine damage pool, and that protects the doctors from being sued for vaccinating a person. Why would they need that? Because otherwise the doctors would go broke and wouldn't vaccinate anybody at all. So how do you break people out of these mental things? Well, you can't reason them out of it, because if you give them a reason that does not agree with their mental structure, right? You get you get labeled and then dismissed, and that doesn't help on a conversation, right? Labeled and dismissed is not how you get a conversation finished, and whether that's successfully finished for clearing up a misunderstanding or whatever, it doesn't matter. You've got to be able to actually converse with the person, and if you haven't got communication established, you're not going to be able to converse with people. So you've got to come at it in a way that doesn't alienate your conversation partner. Because as soon as you alienate someone, you are going to fail on communication. That is just as clear as can be. Nobody trying to engage in rhetoric wants to engage, wants to stop the conversation. Now, there are times when you will engage in mocking or things, and that is when you are playing to a tertiary, when you've got an audience that is watching the debate, and that audience will be swayed by your mocking of the person who's foregone rationality. And that is the time when mocking is appropriate and useful. So if I'm debating a political opponent, I know I'm not going to convince him. His money, his livelihood, his ability to get to sway the third parties depends on him not dropping out and conceding any point in which he has chosen to put a dialectic. Okay? So when a politician chooses a political stance, they have chosen to make a dialectic out of it. A black and white issue. And if you believe this, you can't believe that. So you're not going to ever convince a politician to drop a dialectic point unless he thinks that it's no longer in his best interest to hold that point. at which point he'll change it in a moment and not even let you know. But you can sway the third parties by demolishing his dialectic, or by demolishing his argument for his side. And you can also sway with just demolishing him in person. But that's the lazy way. But that's what they tried with Donald Trump, and you saw how ineffective that was. With this election cycle, we are going to see many more deep fakes, audio fakes, visual fakes, to try and destroy political opponents. In 2016, they didn't have, they should have, but they didn't have the tech to do full visual for that Access Hollywood tape, and that would have been more convincing to a lot of people. The audio only, it didn't make any sense. Why are they running the audio from the bus and switching to the camera of the bus approaching? None of it made sense. They obviously had video of on the bus, and so it's the whole Access Hollywood thing smacks of an audio fake. And you could go to Jordan Peterson Says, or I guess that's now a historical thing, but there was it's fairly easy to do audio these days. We've had the power to do it with PCs for decades. This camera is crap. Anyway, can you break through the indoctrination? Only if you can build the indoctrinated person up to self recognize their dissonance and that they are arguing with reality itself. If you can't manage that, you aren't going to manage to pull these anti-educated people out of it. And the problem is that our school system has been doing anti-education and indoctrination of people in these insane social justice things as part of the Alinsky communist destruction of Western society. Well, anyway, peace and joy to you all, and hey, if just being able to recognize when you're dealing with an anti-educated person will be a big step in getting at least your peace and joy. Peace out.